Welcome in, fight fans. We are live from the Bayou City Event Center here in lovely Houston, Texas for the Fury FC 45 event. Live here on Facebook, the prelims coming up right now. Going to be a fantastic night of fights. You can watch the main card on UFC Fight Pass here at 4:30 Central Time. I'm AJ Hoffman. I'm here with Todd Moore and Alex Morano. Guys, big night of fights lined up. We got to start with the prelims. What are you looking forward to most, Todd?
I am super excited to see the debut of D1 and Big Ten Wrestling. Purdue champion James Ford taking on the multi-vet Jake Williams. And that's going to be an awesome fight to see how James Ford responds in his debut.
Alex Morano.
Yeah, always looking forward to heavyweight fights. A long-awaited professional debut of Ricardo Evangelista. He's a third-degree Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, been a black belt for over 10 years. And he's fighting a very gritty John Clay.
We have a great card lined up for you. After this, we're going to be on UFC Fight Pass, where we've got a 155-pound title fight coming up. It's going to be a great night of fights here from Houston for Fury FC 45.
Ready?
And we are live here at the Bayou City Event Center. About to get started, about to get underway with Fury FC 45 live here on Facebook.
There we see Wayne getting ready to call out for our first match of the evening as we have Hope Holmes making her debut against Dania Cruz. Good to be here tonight. And there we see the tail of the tape between these two ladies.
I saw Dania hitting pads backstage. She looks mean.
Yeah, and this is a catchweight too, just above the atom weight class, which is not really mainstream yet, which is 105 pounds. This is a catchweight at 110 pounds, and these girls have some power for that lightweight.
Hope Holmes is looking to make a statement in her debut, taking on the 20-year-old Dania Cruz. Should be a great opening bout for our Fury Fighting Championship card.
Dania looked like about what you would expect a Daniel Pineda student to look like. And very aggressive, very much a bully. So I'm looking forward to seeing this one.
Yeah, her coach Daniel Pineda's been crushing it on the Houston scene for, over a decade, in the UFC now, doing big things. They always produce a lot of really good fighters out of that gym 4-ounce.
And both of these girls are strikers. Hope comes from a Taekwondo background. Dania has a Muay Thai background, so both of them looking to throw down here in this opening contest.
Good crowd in the building tonight.
Houston fight crowd, baby.
That's right.
Yeah, and a big undercard. We have 9 bouts scheduled, with a few of the later bouts being swing bouts in case we need to get into the main card. But a lot of fights. Fans are really getting their money's worth for this fight card.
The main card will be at 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern on UFC Fight Pass. So if you want to hang out with us after these prelims, you can catch that on UFC Fight Pass starting at 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central Time.
Then we see some of the Houston crowd to support their fighters on the prelim card. We got some great fights on the prelims. We got James Owens Ford making his mixed martial arts debut. Comes from a very decorated college wrestling background, taking on the very experienced Jake Williams. That's the prelim match I'm really looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, that's not the easiest first amateur fight. Williams is very experienced. He's a pretty big guy. But Ford does have a really strong wrestling background. I've actually trained with him before. And I'll tell you, he took me down, and he was not easy to get off.
Division I Big Ten wrestler from Purdue making his MMA debut.
Cool.
Championship 45. Tonight's event is brought to you by Garcia Promotions and is sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. We have 15 fights for you this afternoon. We'll be going live on UFC Fight Pass at 4:30. But if you're ready for the preliminary matches, Houston, Texas, let me hear you make some noise! Please welcome to the blue corner, Hope Holmes.
And here we have Hope Holmes making her way to the cage. 4'11", 31 years of age, making her mixed martial arts debut here tonight. She comes from a traditional martial arts background, Taekwondo black belt for 11 years, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belt. There you see her coach, David Kelly, with the final touches. Taking on the double tough Danya Cruz. We were talking earlier, AJ, you were saying you saw Danya hitting the pads earlier, looking like a crazy woman out there.
Savage. She is going to she's going to bring the pressure, I believe, in this fight. And I'm curious to see two striking backgrounds. Which one comes out on top here?
Yeah, you know, this is a catchweight at 110 pounds. You know, 5 pounds lighter than most common, you know, female weight classes. There is a weight class below at 105 pounds called atomweight. And this is a catchweight just above that. But don't be confused. Even though these girls are a little bit smaller, they both hit very hard.
Past 2 years, Hope Holmes has been raising her family of 4, has 2 kids. Hope Holmes, ready for action.
Yeah, expect some fun kicks out of this one.
Oh, got some ups.
Jump higher than I can.
She's an athlete.
Please welcome to the red corner, Danya Cruz.
Danya with a lot of fan support here in the crowd early for her first fight of the night.
And here we have Danya Cruz making her way to the cage. 5 foot tall, 20 years old. Been doing Muay Thai. Started Muay Thai when she was 12 years old. Trains at 4 Ounce Fight Club. Coach Frank Gallego and Daniel Pineda in her corner. She's been grappling for the past 6 years. Looking for... There we see Danya Cruz looking for her first mixed martial arts victory. Going against the 31-year-old Hope Holmes, making her mixed martial arts debut.
Yeah, Danya Cruz has a fantastic training camp and a very experienced coach in Daniel Pineda. He's been crushing it on the Houston scene for well over a decade. He's in the UFC now. A lot of really good active training partners at that gym.
There we see the final touches with the grease for Danya Cruz. We thank all of our viewers on the Fury Fighting Facebook. Don't forget to join us 4:30 Central Time on UFC Fight Pass to catch our main card. Danya Cruz, ready for action.
Classic 4 Ounce slogan, time to die, written on her top.
I like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, your opening contest is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury Amateur Series at a catch weight of 110 pounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 4 feet, 10 inches tall and weighed in officially at 109.2 pounds. Fighting out of Tomball, Texas. Today, she makes her amateur debut. This is the Tiny Terror, Hope Holmes. And introducing her opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This orthodox striker stands 5 feet tall and weighed in at 110 pounds even. Fighting out of Houston, Texas. Today she seeks her first victory as an amateur. Introducing Danya Cruz. Your referee in charge of the action, JJ Ferraro.
And you see Danya just looking fired up in her corner.
Yeah, and it looks like some amateur nerves on Hope, at least when the camera was on her, and or your first fight nerves, the debut nerves, which are a real thing, certainly.
Oh, yeah.
Now our first fight is officially underway. Southpaw versus conventional matchup.
You know, I expect a lot of stance changing from Holmes being a more traditional martial artist. We'll see.
Once again, guys, this is our amateur fights. Amateur fights are 3 3-minute rounds.
Got some toes to the face there.
Yeah, that was a good open side round kick there from Holmes.
We see 20 seconds into this bout. Southpaw referring to the left-handed stance there by Holmes.
I think if you're going to make your debut, your MMA debut, and you're a traditional martial artist, it kind of helps going up against someone who is probably not looking to take you down. That's got to be at least somewhat comforting. The worst thing I would think would be in there with a wrestler. And here she takes the fight to the ground. Didn't see that coming.
You know, she's in the midst of a triangle. We'll see if she can't posture out of it.
Yeah, she's getting kind of low. See how Danya responds to this. Look like she's trying to get an angle.
In on an armbar, but the hips are just off. If Danya can get that right leg of hers over the head of Holmes, she could have something with this joint lock.
Hope Holmes, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belt, see if she can recognize the escape, and she steps over, and I think
the elbow's in. That's deep. If Danya can get a strong bridge,
and if Hope can get out of this will be impressive. Man, it's extended. Danya Cruz with the submission victory over Hope Holmes, earning her first mixed martial arts victory here. She stuck with that armbar.
Yeah, she did a good job staying patient and making sure that elbow stayed above the hip line, so when she bridges, it could put some torque on that elbow. And sure enough, after that adjustment, it was deep.
Man, that's a tough pill to swallow for Hope Holmes. I mean, she recognized the armbar. I just felt that she could have, doesn't quite stack Danya enough to get herself out of danger.
And we look back, you know, Holmes had a really good flurry and hit a takedown just due to aggression, but landed right into a triangle choke.
She had a good entry there with that right hand.
Yeah, I feel like she worked on stacking a little bit more.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes 1 minute, 33 seconds into the very first round. Declaring your winner by way of verbal submission due to an armbar, Danya Cruz.
Congratulations go to Danya Cruz, earning her first mixed martial arts victory. Look to see both of these ladies in action in future Fury Fighting Championships. There we see the finish there. Danya doing a good job of sticking with it.
Yeah, notice she got that right leg over to try to keep her down, readjusted there.
Verbal submission there. Veteran referee there, JJ Ferrara, able to recognize.
Yeah, I saw JJ last weekend in Oklahoma, judging some Muay Thai fights.
Please welcome to the blue corner, Chris Tovar.
That moves us along to our next fight, a lightweight fight between Chris Tovar and Hector Sáenz.
Yeah, moving fast and furious here on these prelim fights. 9 to get through before we head over to UFC Fight Pass.
Chris Tovar, 6-time Fury Fighting Championship veteran. 2-4 as an amateur fighter, 5'9". His last fight was a decision victory over Justin Hoffert back in March of 2019. So 2-year layoff, looking if he can extend it to 2 straight. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I remember that fight. It was a scrappy fight. He's got Angel Harris in his corner, another, you know, long-standing Houston MMA coach, known for their striking, but they can definitely mix it up. Tovar, very experienced for an amateur.
To his credit, he's looking very relaxed. I guess this is his song.
My guess is he forgot to turn on his music.
Or maybe, hey, he's jamming. He's jamming to it, so that's what gets him pumped.
I think he is making the most of it.
God bless him. Chris Tovar, ready for action.
Hector Sáenz.
Hector Sáenz pumped up, coming in here with a 1-0 record, looking to stand defeated tonight, I'm sure. He's got a very experienced opponent in Tovar.
Here we have A fired up Hector Science, 24 years of age, as Alex was mentioning, undefeated as an amateur, looking to extend it to 2 straight. There we see Chris Tovar, Hector Science, 30 years of age for Chris Tovar, taking on the 24-year-old youngster in Hector Science, 5'9" versus 5'8". Hector Science's last fight was a 22-second first round TKO over Tony Martinez. That was back in November of 2019. So about a year and a half. Let's see how he's developed in that time. And he is looking ready.
Yeah, Hector Science is an athlete. He comes from 4 ounce, much like our last fighter who got the win. Daniel Pineda in his corner. It's going to be an excellent fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next match is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury Amateur Series lightweight division. Introducing your first competitor, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighed in officially at 154.6 pounds. Today he seeks his 3rd amateur victory. This is Chris Tovar. Introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This freestyle fighter stands 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed in at 153.4 pounds. He holds an amateur record of 1 victory, no defeats. This is Hector Science. In charge of the action, Joe Solis.
Chris Tovar, Hector Science. And this fight is officially underway. Another conventional versus southpaw matchup.
I don't have a tape measure here, but one of these, there's not a 1 inch.
Oh, big left hand there from Science.
Man, Science is bringing the fury early.
Good return fire there from Tovar. Didn't get overwhelmed by that flurry.
There's more than a 1 inch height difference between these two guys.
Man, Science is...
Science knows how to cover distance, and he does it relatively safely, too. Keeps a very long stance, using a side kick as an entry.
Like how Science is using his entry to get on the inside. Doesn't want to fight the longer fighter on the outside there.
Science almost takes the back.
Yeah, it was good for Tovar to identify that body lock, and he actually put his whizzer back in to stop that route to the back.
And that whizzer you're talking about there, Alex, is that arm over Science's shoulder right there. It's like blocking.
Ooh, both guys land a good one.
That was a good lead right hook there from Science.
Man, explosive matchup between these two amateurs.
Yeah, I think Science thought he had the better of that, and Tovar landed a good one getting out of the exchange.
So one fun thing I saw Science do, he looked hard to his left, indicating that he was going to throw a spin.
Big left hand there by Science.
But came forward with that left hand. No spins needed. He's doing good damage.
Oh my goodness! Spinning back kick there by Science.
Spinning wheel kick landed well. Tovar keeps his cool.
And you know what? He did that against the taller fighter. How about that?
Yeah, Hector Science is a fun style to watch. These guys are a bit of a unit, and he's an athlete. He's got that long, hands down stance, baiting guys to come in. And once they breach that range, he likes to unload.
I'll tell you this much, Tovar's got a chin on him, man. He's taken 8 and 2 big shots, and he's still in there looking strong.
Yeah, he's keeping good composure. He needs to do something about this pressure, though.
There we see a small cut under the right eye of Tovar.
Tovar's landed a few good knees to the body as well. Every time he gets clinched up, he's creating enough distance to throw that knee.
I love the way that Science just closes the gap, just taking the distance completely out of the equation and just working the inside where he's seemed to be the dominant of the two.
Yeah, Science is working very efficiently from a very long range and then very efficiently from a very close range. He doesn't like to play that middle ground, which I think is smart.
Got to give credit to Tovar's defense on those inside clinches, forcing Science to have to retreat.
So Science does have to be careful hitting these entries with those hands low. And he can run into a short punch from Tovar as he's closing the distance. It can be doing extra damage.
Down to 10 seconds left in the round.
Very heavy pace set for this first round.
Yeah, let's see if these two can keep up the pace for the remainder of the fight. Wow, what a first round between these two amateurs.
Hector threw no easy punches or kicks. He threw everything with the intention to finish.
Man.
Yeah, I think Sainz takes the first round, really even just based on where the fight took place. You saw Tovar's back against the cage for the good majority of that round.
There we see some of the highlights of this past round. See that entry in there by Sainz. Despite being the shorter fighter, just able to land to so many diverse strikes.
Here's that spinning wheel kick. In this next exchange.
Here it comes. Nice setup. Nice.
You know, it landed accurately with the left hand right behind it.
It looked like he caught the bottom of his foot, which is maybe lucky. If you catch that heel, that could sleep you.
So the rule of thumb is to aim with the heel, but you're happy with really anything like
Sure.
that. My coach even told me, even if your toes hit, you're still doing damage.
Yeah, for the judges' opinion, I mean, that looks great for the judges, too.
Certainly, yeah.
Regardless if it was the heel or the foot, so. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, AJ. Easy first round for Sainz. Let's see how Tovar responds.
You know, it's tough for Tovar to find his range because, you know, Sainz is staying very far to the outside and then crashing hard to the inside. Good lead check right hook there from Hector as well.
Saw for a brief moment, Tovar transitioned to, he had just landed his best punch of the fight right there. He got Sainz's attention with that.
Yeah, Sainz swinging a little wild with a low guard. It's risky.
But you're right, Alex. Sainz is keeping a really good range right now, and he's especially being the shorter guy, he's only in range when he's throwing.
I think Sainz is suffering a small cut under his left eye. Both fighters bleeding.
I'll tell you, Tovar landed a really good rear side knee right to the solar plex of Sainz. That'll definitely slow someone down. And Sainz is in on a single leg, one of your more classic wrestling entries. Tovar does a good job sticking to the game plan in terms of classic wrestling defense, pummeling underhooks, spreading his hips wide.
Yeah, I've actually been pretty impressed with Tovar's defense. He's been just using that overhook very well throughout this fight to defend Sainz. Sainz yet to be able to take this fight to the ground.
And in these 3-minute rounds, one takedown can decide the round. I mean, if you get taken down in a three-minute round fight, it's very tough to recover from that.
Yeah, it scores heavily. I'll tell you, Sainz has a bit of a mass.
Oh! Clipped him with a left.
He's got some damage on that left eye of his and Sainz.
Yeah, the swelling may be more of an issue than the bleeding, honestly.
Yeah.
It looks like he's closing up that left eye.
I'll tell you, the shot that stunned Hector was actually a jab from Tovar. He was just entering in very violently. So it was really his momentum running into that jab is what really did the damage.
And that's where that experience comes into play. I mean, these two are amateurs just trying to still find their style.
And, you know, I believe this is where the experience of Tovar is really coming in. You know, he's staying cool. He's sticking to the correct technical routes, considering he's on the defensive end of these wrestling exchanges.
6-time Fury Fighting Championship veteran. Been able to fend off the takedown attempts from Sainz for the majority of the fight.
Another good knee landed.
Now we see him work the tie clinch over Sainz. See if he can make something happen from it.
Big swing from Tovar. Looks like Tovar's going to set up that high right kick.
You see the wear on both fighters' face in this matchup. And we're already into where there's 15 seconds left. There's been so much action, and it's almost lost track. They've ate up most of the round.
You know, this round could be a bit more difficult to score than you'd think. I mean, Hector came in with a lot of aggression, but he got hit with the worst shots.
Well, he got clipped and he hit the ground. I mean, to me, that decides it. I mean, if you get knocked down in a round, a 3-minute round especially. You
know, he's showing some damage too, significantly more in this round.
See if we can see in the replay some of the damage done. He saw Sainz like opening the match with a lot of spinning techniques.
You know, it was that glancing lead hook from Tovar that had cut Sainz's eye open. Tovar doing good work with that clinch knee as well.
And there's that check jab right there from Tovar that got Sainz's attention.
Yeah, Sainz was really planting in on that hard left hand and he just ran right into that jab, but landed some good shots of his own back on the entry.
That jab could have won the round for Tovar, so you have to wonder.
I think we're 1-1. I think this round decides the fight.
You have to wonder, what is each corner telling their fighter?
Yeah, they've done a good job with the eye of Hector Sainz. It looks good. They may be getting a second opinion, though, on the doctor.
Third and final round in this lightweight explosive matchup.
Yeah, referee Joe Solis, very experienced, is calling the doctor, and I believe to check on Hector's eye.
I mean, it's open now.
Yeah, you know, they did a good job in stopping that swelling. They've gotten the blood out of there. And I can see his retina.
They're going to let this keep going.
Responding well to the light and the doctor. I'd be very surprised if they stopped it. And of course, for these amateurs, safety's number one. And these guys aren't getting paid for this.
Yes.
It's all experience.
As you're saying, like, Sans is responding pretty well. Anxious to keep that undefeated record. Oh, my goodness, I think they're going to stop
They
it.
will stop this fight. I can see Sans arguing hard with the doctor. They've not made the official call yet.
Let's see what he says.
It looks like the doctor's explaining to Hector what's wrong with his eye. Hector's negotiating.
That's it.
And
they call the fight.
Chris Tovar wins this match by a technical stoppage due to a cut over Hector Sans. Unfortunate, because, I mean, I was really looking forward to seeing how that third round was going to unfold.
That was a fantastic fight. That is disappointing. I mean, obviously for Hector Sans, it's disappointing, but for us, you know, not getting to see that last round is a bummer.
You know, and Hector's got a great gym. He's got a long career ahead of him. I think when he's a more established professional, he'll actually look back on this and understand the intention of the doctor and the referee. I don't disagree with that call. You know, safety is number one, especially when it comes to your eyes and your vision.
I guess so. It looked like his eye was pretty well open, and the cut's under the eye, so you're not worried about blood getting into the eye.
See, I don't think it's a cut. I think it's from the swelling. You know, he put
Ladies
some
and gentlemen,
orbital bone
the
issues.
end comes 10 seconds into the third round, declaring your winner by TKO due to a doctor stoppage, Chris Tovar.
You know, that's unfortunate for Hector, but that's part of the game. You know, it's really out of his control, too.
Chris Tovar improves with his third victory in mixed martial arts. Both of these guys looked awesome. Looking forward to seeing both of these fighters in future Fury cards, and I'm sure we will.
You know, that's an early fight of the night candidate, too. You know,
oh, yeah.
The fight started strong and finished strong. Both guys, you know, you got to really give it up to Hector. He was really bargaining with the ref and the doctor to let this fight continue.
Very stylish fighter there, Hector Sans. Just taking risks with those spinning techniques. He's very, very comfortable in there for a guy with only 2 amateur fights.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing them do this again.
No, I'd certainly enjoy to watch that fight.
Drake Lopez.
And that moves us along to our next fight of the evening. So we have the 125-pounders. We have Drake Lopez taking on Joshua Thang. Drake Lopez making his way to the cage. 3 amateur fights under his belt. His last fight was a rear naked choke loss to Colton Loud back in December of 2019. He has never been the distance in his career. His one victory was a submission over Matthew Hathaway. Started fighting back in 2019. Then we see the final touches for Drake Lopez as he prepares for Joshua Thang.
Very cool pair of Muay Thai trunks for this fight, but I don't think you have to remember he's got to pull those compression shorts up.
Drake Lopez ready for action.
Please welcome to the red corner, Josh Van.
And here we have the undefeated Joshua Thang. 2-0 as an amateur fighter, both fights in the Fury Fighting Championship. His last fight was a unanimous decision victory over Americo Garcia back in our last Fury Fighting Championship in March. His other victory was against Luke Ian in the first round. TKO victory. Never see the tail of the tape between these 2 fighters. Drake Lopez, 1-2 against the 2-0 Joshua Thang. 20 years old versus 19 years old. So we got 2 youngsters going at it, looking to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, and if there's anything flyweights are known for, it's cardio and activity. Expect fireworks out of this fight.
Definitely, Alex. I definitely anticipate a fast-paced matchup between these 2.
We got a 19 and 20-year-old, a really big stage to fight on. They got a lot to prove.
look at the Fury Fighting Championship, just, you know, getting bigger and bigger with each show. And so you got two guys that are just that young. You can bet that they're willing to put it all on the line to get that victory. Joshua Thang, ready for action.
A little pre-fight stare down. This is going to be a good
The
one.
following contest is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury Amateur Series Flyweight Division. Introducing your first competitor, fighting out of the blue corner. This freestyle fighter stands 5 feet 4 inches tall and weight in at 124 pounds even. Fighting out of San Antonio, Texas, tonight he seeks his second amateur victory. This is Drake Lopez. And introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This kickboxer stands 5 feet 5 inches tall and weight in officially at 124.8 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, he holds a perfect amateur record of 2 victories, no defeats. This is the fearless Josh Van. Your referee in charge of the action, JJ Ferraro.
We are about to be underway, our third fight of the evening. Both these guys in fantastic shape.
Yeah, both young. This will be a good one.
This fight is officially underway. Two conventional fighters going at it. Lopez opens up with some leg kicks. And looking for the takedown early. Can he score with it? Fang did a good job in getting that underhook to prevent the takedown. But look at Lopez there with the Greco-Roman trips.
I can see why Lopez never been the distance.
Yeah, he just sprinted across the cage there.
That uppercut just missed.
You don't
Twice.
You don't see body shots too often like that in MMA.
No, those guys got low form too. I mean,
That was kind of dangerous there.
oh,
My
man.
Good
goodness.
overhand.
You know, and a good high kick before that.
Lopez is just extremely aggressive. Just has bad intentions on everything he's been throwing thus far.
Lopez doesn't seem like he's planning to go out of the first round here in this fight.
This is a good opportunity for the undefeated Joshua Thang to weather the storm and get that experience of how to handle an extremely aggressive fighter.
Oh, way to move to the back on that. That was very nice.
Off of a lap drop.
Little high there. Let's see how Thang responds.
Yeah, Thang did a good job clearing that hook and then pressuring right back on top.
Now we see Thang enjoying the top position, half guard. Lopez trying to make his way back up to his feet. Thang now with the trip attempt. Back to the center they go.
Yeah, both guys can use a jab here to find that range.
Already a minute and a half into this 3-minute round fight.
I think Lopez disagrees. He's throwing overhand rights and high kicks and they're landing.
See Thang there working the body a little bit. Spinning back kick there by Lopez.
Right into a double leg, stuffed
wow.
hard into mount.
Oh, he might have that arm.
Flings in deep on an armbar, and he's laying on the right side. If he can break the grip of Lopez here, he could finish this.
I like how Thang turns with the legs. That's the direction that people make the mistake and not turn to.
This looks like it could be a lock. He's got to get that right leg over the head to stop Lopez from sitting up.
Lopez
It's a post fight.
Man, Lopez did a good job getting his head in between the legs there to defend that.
Hey, good for Lopez.
Nice grappling transition there between these two flyweights.
He gutted through that arm lock and that scramble.
Yeah, and Joshua Thang did everything right. As Lopez answered with the proper defense.
Ooh, wrapped around the head with that kick.
Lopez landed a good spinning back kick earlier too.
Third.
No one can fight at this pace though. He's going to have to be a little more calculated with his entries.
Shoot, if there's anybody that could, it would be the flyweights. Thang now, seeing if he can close around from the top position, raining down punches from the mount.
He's landing effective shots from the back and the mount.
Can Thang finish it in the last 10 seconds? Is he going to go for it?
Lopez needs to roll. If he wants to survive this, he needs to roll it out. And there it
Joshua
is.
Thang makes a big statement to close out the first round over Drake Lopez.
Fantastic first round.
Yeah.
A lot
Ooh,
of action.
I need some water after watching that round.
Yeah, I think Lopez does too. He burnt a lot of energy. Yeah, and I think the Wang actually won that round with the positioning as well.
I do too. It felt like the early part of the fight, Lopez was in control, but the biggest moments, the mounts, the submission attempts, and really that last 15, 20 seconds of ground and pound, I think that gives the round to Thang.
Have to agree with you, AJ. There we see some of the highlights of the first round. That wraparound kick that you were talking about earlier. See if we can see the finish of the first round where Thang was scoring big with that mount.
You know, Lopez was down 2 scramble, though. He didn't accept these bad positions.
And that mount that you saw at the end is likely what won Joshua Thang that first round. Interesting to see how both of these fighters respond in round 2. They can keep up the pace. Oh, gonna.
It was a bit of an accidental low blow, but Thang didn't seem to care.
Lopez went for a spin technique, but he had his arm stuck.
I'll tell you, Lopez is all offense.
Very crowd-pleasing fighter. Thang now. But the open guard there with Lopez, not even attempting to try to close it.
Thang's landing good shots from the top.
Oh, this is a bad spot stacked up like this.
Lopez getting rolled up. Thang punishing Lopez.
This is about to be stopped, I think.
Referee J.J. Farrar looking closely at Joshua Thang.
Oh, wow. Turned into him. Nice job of recovering there. It looked like that was going to be a fight-ending sequence.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Thang has not stopped.
Using a modified knee ride across the neck to keep Lopez down.
Interesting technique there. Lopez trying to roll through and see like a modified mount. We don't see this very often in MMA. Not much you can do from there, from the bottom position, other than just hope for the best.
Yeah, Thang's doing a smart job in clearing the leg and turning back into Lopez. I think Thang needs to choose his shots. Oh, he's in a really nasty reap. Thang needs to spin hard.
So it's almost like Lopez was thinking about a heel hook, but heel hooks and neck cranks are not allowed in the amateur division.
Yeah, neither are elbows or reinforced knees from the clinch.
Back mat now from Joshua Thang.
Thang needs to look to transition him out.
Maybe too late.
Yeah.
Good recovery there by Lopez. Thang being out of position. He's got a minute to see if he can catch up.
I feel like Lopez may have made a mistake there, pushing him towards the cage where it was easier for him to get up.
Yeah, and he shot it on the guillotine, but didn't really have his hands connected or the guard recovered.
Gotta imagine if these guys were pros, if he'd be going for a heel hook right now.
Yeah, that is sort of, I mean, he keeps thinking about it.
J.J. Farrar was a very seasoned referee. He's keeping a close eye on that.
He's going for a classic knee bar, and
he's warning him he can't do that either.
And Thang landing huge shots.
It's over.
Joshua Thang with the knockout victory over Drake Lopez.
Wow, what a pace, what a fight, and power from the flyweights.
Wow, what did it was Lopez's attempt at that knee bar, leaving himself open for the defense.
And that's an illegal technique as well. The only leg lock allowed in amateurs is a straight foot lock.
What?
And the ref warned him, and I think it kind of threw him off and left him open to just get pounded on.
I mean, it's important to know your rules. Here's some big highlights. What a high-paced round.
And I was told a lot when I started MMA because I was a leg locker as well. It's very dangerous in MMA. You put yourself in some positions where if the leg lock doesn't work, you're going to take some real damage.
I mean, just like this. Yeah, I tell my students all the time, for every one successful leg lock you see in MMA, you see 5 guys get TKO'd.
Yeah.
There we see Joshua Thang. Just so much punches thrown in that round. I wish we could have had like a CompuBox number to see how many strikes he threw.
And a lot of them landed. And, you know, this wasn't there was a strict warning there from JJ about that knee bar. AJ, you were right. It made him question that technique. And he absorbed some heavy shots.
Joshua Thang did the right thing and just kept pressing forward. Small calculation can cost you big in this game. Joshua Thang improves to 3-0. Second stoppage of his career. Sure, we're going to be seeing many more of his fights in future Fury Fighting Championship cards.
Oh, yeah. That was an all-action fight. Both these guys look good.
Definitely.
At a minimum, they're crowd pleasers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes 2 minutes, 32 seconds into round number 2, declaring your winner by TKO due to strikes, the fearless Josh Van.
Another argument for fight of the night thus far, Alex.
Yeah, that was a great fight.
And that moves us along to our next fight of the evening as we have our lightweights back at it. So we got the Black Mamba, Jonathan King, taking on Trey Raymond. Both fighters making their debut.
Yeah, Trey Raymond making his amateur debut, a teammate of Nico Echeverry, our champion and main event slot fighter tonight. They actually have 4 guys fighting on this fight card.
Please welcome to the blue corner, Jonathan King.
And here we have Jonathan King making his mixed martial arts debut. 5'8", 25 years of age, has been training for the past 2.5 years. If you notice, he says that he was born missing a middle finger, but was blessed with a death grip because of it. So we'll see how that comes into play. Mom passed away at 16, used that as motivation to succeed in his athletic career. Won the Naga Absolute Division in the white belt division. Has amateur goals to win the amateur 155-pound belts. There we see Jonathan King, ready for action.
Sure enough, there's a missing finger in that glove. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
You don't hear that often, a 155-pounder winning an open division in a grappling event.
Yeah.
Hey, he's not afraid. Not afraid to throw down with anybody.
Please welcome to the red corner, Trey Raymond.
Yeah, I got a fun story about Trey. I was really happy to see him on the fight card. He actually came into my gym about 7 or 8 years ago as just a young, out-of-shape teenager. Trained for about a year. He ended up moving down to the south side of Houston. And then, you know, fast forward about a half a decade, sure enough, making his amateur debut at a really strong gym in ACS with Drew Radicek as their head coach.
Yeah, he's got a great corner behind him with Drew Radicek. Drew Radicek, the coach of our champion, Nico Echeverry. Never see the tail of the tape between these two fighters. 25 years of age for Jonathan King versus the 19-year-old Trey Raymond. Both of these fighters making their mixed martial arts debut here tonight. Same height. Trey Raymond looking to come in a little bit over the lightweight division. Cuts off at 155 pounds. They give you a pound leverage. So it comes in about 2.5 pounds overweight. Trey Raymond ready for action.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury Amateur Series lightweight division. Introducing your first competitor, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighted officially at 154.8 pounds. Fighting out of Dickinson, Texas. Today he makes his amateur debut. This is Jonathan King. And introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed in at 158.2 pounds. Fighting out of Pearland, Texas. Today, he too makes his amateur debut. This is Trey Raymond. Your referee in charge of the action, Joe Solis.
Jonathan King, Trey Raymond. And our 4th bout of the evening is officially underway. Southpaw versus a conventional matchup. And we see Raymond open up quickly with a body lock.
Yeah, the ACS gym that Trey's out of, they're known for good grappling and good judo as well.
Ooh, foot stomps. Haven't seen that in a while. Have you ever gotten foot stomped, AJ?
I have.
Does not brighten your day.
I one time tried to foot stomp a guy and I ended up twisting my knee, so I stopped doing it.
You see Raymond working hard for that takedown. King doing a good job in trying to work those overhooks and underhook clinch. to stop the takedown attempt.
You can see Trey's really trying to clasp his hands, and he got him together. He should finish this double.
Switches to a single there. Now he's going back to a double. Can't quite get his hands together on the double.
King's doing a good job keeping his hips real wide. Trey's got him together. Again, if there's a time to finish, it's now.
And starting it early, too, with the takedown attempt, because takedowns, he's probably the most energy in mixed martial arts. So right now he's fresh, has the energy to finish if he wanted to.
He's in on a body lock, and he was around that overhook, but looks like King got that whizzer back in again to protect the angle to his back.
See if he abandons ship and goes for something else, which they do.
Yeah, you know, even though King's not the one initiating the wrestling exchange, his defending such a clinch is tiring itself. Trey hit a good, strong body lock trip there, and King with the strong get-up using the underhook.
Yeah, Raymond unable to do anything big with that takedown, so it's almost like a wash in the eyes of the judges.
Good high kick there from Trey.
And that's the stuff that's going to get the judges' attention.
Double up on it. They both landed.
Raymond now taking advantage of having King against the cage. Scores big with the double leg. Let's see what he does with it.
I'll tell you, looking at Trey Ryman's body language, he doesn't seem to be overexerting himself, even though this is a pretty heavy pace.
I'd have to agree with you. He looks pretty calm out there, pretty confident in his grappling ability. I'd like to see him step over that leg and figure for that leg lock.
I'll tell you what I like to see is Trey threw the right hand, baited a right hand at a King, and as King threw the right, he ducked under and hit that double leg.
Trey now looking for the ground and pound, and King tries to take advantage and see if he can stand up. Unable to do so.
Trey needs to pick his shots from here.
And as we mentioned before, this half guard position for the top person in MMA is a great place to land. A lot of ground and pound.
Yeah, I think King trying to punch to the bottom is a mistake.
To the rib cage there.
And once again, seeing almost like a leg lock attempt there from King to try to see if he can muscle his way out of it. Just under 10 seconds left. I think we're going to finish with this position.
You know, if Trey had some more time, that hand was under the chin. Great round.
I think in the last couple of years, leg locking has become more popular in grappling.
Oh, sure.
And these guys who are taking it to the cage need to remember that there's a different rule set. And just like there is for different levels of submission grappling as well, but not everything you can do on a mat is allowed in this cage as an amateur.
Never see some of the highlights of the first round as we see Trey, some of the highlights of his grappling scoring big for him in this round. Pretty easy round to score. Just out-positioned in that match. Just landing some good ground and pound there from Raymond.
Yeah, a big reason I don't like to wrestle in my fights personally is because I don't like my shoulders to feel fatigued. But one thing that you can get out of your opponent to make them wrestle defensively is you can gas their arms out. Trey, being the grappler, I think has done a good job taking some of the pop off of King's strikes.
Yeah, to have that strategy, to have grappling being your main weapon, it's almost like you got to train for two. You have to train for your body weight and the extra person's body weight. Be a lot of energy expended.
Trey looks very relaxed. I mean, for a guy making his debut, he's very poised in there.
I agree with you.
Yeah, if there's anything Nico Echeverry, Trey's teammate, is known for, it's cardio. So you know they're all in good shape, all of them. I don't think it's a choice at their gym.
Once again,
except
Raymond.
for Drew.
So he's the coach and not the fighter.
Once again, Raymond enters in with the double leg, transitions to body lock, and scores big into side control.
You know, that was just an over-under with his hands clasped and a bit of a knee bump. You know, a Greco-Roman style strategy to take his opponent down. Very successful, hard to do.
Yeah, that's just complete dominance of power over your opponent whenever you can do that. Now we see Ryman enjoying top half guard position now. Opportunity to land some good ground and pound.
King has to be careful because he threw an elbow trying to hit him on the head so he wouldn't get around him, but that's also an illegal technique right here.
Yeah, I know King doesn't have many options in terms of offense, but throwing punches to the body from the bottom is doing nothing. I mean,
it's not a good strategy.
He needs to use his hands to look to break Trey's grip, to get under hooks. I mean,
this is he's getting cradled right here. This is I mean, it takes away a lot of offensive options. But
Never see footlock position, trying to transition it to a sweep, though.
So yeah, without the heel hook, this reaped 50-50 is really doing nothing for King other than keeping him on bottom.
I hope he's aware that he's just trying to use it for the sweep.
Yeah, Trey needs to uncross King's feet and then cut his knees back through into the mat.
But really the only reason that works as a sweep is because you've got the threat of a heel hook. If you're not worried about being heel hooked, it's not that bad of a position to stay in.
And this is a position you don't see every day in mixed martial arts, a 50-50 position, held for a long time.
You know, you actually see King, he was digging for a heel hook, very illegal. And you see Trey in on a straight ankle lock.
No, but that's on the opposite knee. I don't know if that's allowed.
That's a straight ankle lock. It's a cross-side straight ankle lock.
Okay.
Both fighters going for an ankle lock attack. Ryman looks to be the one with a little bit better of the grip of the two.
Well, King has both feet at the same time. That's not going to work.
No.
He needs to isolate one.
There is a move called the Texas Cloverleaf where you can pull the person's shin into their calf, which actually classifies as a straight ankle. But I don't think King's aware of that.
Both these fighters enjoying this 50-50 position, seeing what they can come up with. It kind of seemed tangled up a little bit.
Notice Trey needs to clear that left knee line, which he did. And sure enough, they break free.
20 seconds left in this matchup. I'm sorry, in the second round. See King, seeing if he can finish with something strong. Looked like they jumped the gun there a little bit, but not sure if that would have had too much of an impact on the results of the second round.
Not a lot to speak of as far as damage done in that round on either side. It was a weird position battle. I still feel like Trey got the better of the exchanges, but
yeah, I would agree.
And he did get that body lock takedown early, but just not a lot of real damage done in that round from either side.
Yeah, I think that was effective wrestling and grappling used on Trey's part. I think it's pretty obvious. It's 2 rounds to 0 right now. King knows he needs to do something big to win this fight. He needs to get a finish in this 3rd round to win this fight.
Yeah, if you're in Jonathan King's corner, you have to wonder if his coaches are relaying the message to him, say, hey, if this goes to a decision, you're likely not going to win, so you need to leave it all on the mat right now.
And then for debuters, especially for Trey, he looks calm.
He really does.
Doesn't look too tired. I mean,
yeah, 19 years of age, mixed martial arts debut here.
No one gets tired when they're 19.
I thought when I was 19, I'd get tired.
3rd and final round in this matchup. King comes out southpaw. There was Trey with the high leg kicks. Changing it up from the typical takedown that he was going for in the first 2 rounds. And there we see it. Just trying to time it.
On that body lock. Hands connected.
Yeah, he's got those double underhooks. He's going to have a lot of leverage over King's hips, which makes it very easy to get these takedowns.
Putting his head in the proper placement, had his crown right there in the temple of King earlier. Looking to come around.
Trying to take away one of those legs.
King able to secure that underhook and reverse the position and go for a double leg of his own, but he's got to be careful because Ryman has a Kimura lock attempt.
And it's a dangerous submission though because he went to his back. If he can get King's hand behind his back, he could finish this joint lock.
Right now.
This is also, you're on bottom and both your hands are locked up right now, so you got to be careful because that free hand can do some real damage here.
Yeah.
In addition, he's got the cage interfering with his movement at the time being, so we'll see how this Kimura attempt comes out to play because Ryman's still not letting go of it.
He's committed to going for this. You know, if maybe not a submission, he could get a sweep from here as well.
Well, and he's also grinding clock in a fight that he's clearly winning right now.
Yeah.
At worst, it's a stall position, and that's not a bad thing for him.
Ryman elects to abandon the Kimura lock. That gave King the room to stand up. Trying to find his way to pass to the side control and see what he can do from top position.
You know, Trey actually did a good job trying to elevate his hips, but King did a better job countering and pressuring into the guard. But again, this is not what King wants right now. He's got 1 minute to finish this fight, and he's not going to do it from this position.
Yeah, to me, King should just stand. Yeah, here we go. This is what King needs to do.
Right on cue, AJ. King now seeing what he can do to see if he can make a dramatic comeback. He needs a stoppage to win this fight, and he's swinging away. King now.
Trey returning with a right hand.
Oh. Spinning back kick attempt
You know, that's what King needed, though. He needed to go for something.
And now King looking for the Kimura.
30 seconds left.
Notice how Trey is grabbing his own hand.
Yeah.
Those are almost impossible to finish if you have your hands connected. If the person,
but the leg in between, well, now that he's lost it altogether anyway.
if anything, Trey's going to be...
Time is not on the side of John King.
It's a really impressive debut by Trey Ryman.
Yeah, his composure, the way he was able to use his grappling without gassing.
And Trey Ryman finishing this fight from top side position, looking to cruise his way to a nice decision victory over the double tough Jonathan King. Awesome performance by these two lightweights.
Well, that was a great performance, and that was great experience. Trey really didn't take any damage. He got to go the distance, see what it's like to feel in there physically and emotionally.
Here we see some of the highlights from the third round. Ryman timing that takedown. We saw, for the first time in the fight, we got to see some top position by King. Very good cage time for both fighters. Going to go back and learn from this experience, come back even stronger. Definitely Ryman needs to work on making sure he shows up on weight.
Yeah, that's important. He's got a big frame for a 55 or 2. And you know, King didn't do bad. He did get out wrestled. He lost a position fight and a takedown fight.
Went for broke in the end and ended up getting taken down one more time, but good mat time for both fighters. Here we come to the decision. And we see Drew Radishek. We're going to see him later on in the main card in our main event as we have Nico Echeverry defending his title against Avell Simpson.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for the decision. The scores of 29-28, 29-28, and 30-27. Your winner by unanimous decision, Trey Ryman.
Good fight, good experience for both guys. King showing a lot of respect.
Don't forget, those of you at home, at 4:30, UFC Fight Pass, we have our main card coming onto play as we have our lightweight championship on the line, along with some of the best talent from Houston coming along in our main card at 4:30 Central Time. If you haven't subscribed to UFC Fight Pass, be sure you do so now. We have 1 hour till our main card kicks on. That brings us on to our next fight of the evening.
This was the amateur fight you were most looking forward to, Todd.
Definitely. Heavyweight division. We got the
Please
big
welcome
boys
to the
coming
blue
up.
corner, James Ford.
Yeah, everyone loves watching heavyweights.
And here we have former Division I wrestler from Purdue, James Ford, making his way to the cage. He's a former Fargo Greco-Roman national champion at 220 pounds. Grew up in Columbus, Ohio. Wanted to give a shout out to the Columbus Wrestling Club. Now that he's in Houston, trains out of the War Training Center, Texas Striking Academy. There we see him with the final touches before he makes his way into the cage.
Yeah, War has a lot of very active fighters on their roster. They have a few fighters here tonight.
Tall task ahead of him as he takes on the 5-fight amateur veteran in Jacob Williams. Hopefully that wrestling experience will come into play. James Ford ready for action.
It's funny, the wrestling background.
Please
the
welcome to
hair,
the red
he's like
corner,
a miniature
Jake
Juan
Williams.
Adams.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Juan Adams, who we'll see in our May 16th card. Our May 16th Fury Fighting Championship. Looking for a fight.
Yeah, UFC President Dana White will be there, and that is a dynamite fight card. 3 title fights. Last time they had 3 title fights. Fury delivered, beyond everyone's expectations.
Here we have the double tough Jacob Williams. 4-1 as an amateur fighter. Started his career at 4-0 until he ran into his first defeat in his last fight. There we see the tail to take between these two fighters. 23 years old, taking on the 35-year-old veteran. 262 pounds for the weigh-in for James Ford over the 256-pound Jake Williams. We'll see how that comes into play. So Jake Williams, 6'4", 4 inches taller and a little bit lighter. Jake Williams looking to get back into the win column here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury Amateur Series Heavyweight Division. Introducing your first competitor, fighting out of the blue corner. This freestyle fighter stands 6 feet tall and weighed in officially at 262.4 pounds. Fighting out of Columbus, Ohio, today he makes his amateur debut. This is James Ford. And introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist stands 6 feet 4 inches tall and weighed in at 256.6 pounds. Fighting out of Dickinson, Texas, he holds an amateur record of 4 victories, only 1 defeat. This is Jake Williams. Your referee in charge of the action, Joe Solis.
Jake Williams is a massive dude.
Yeah, we've called many of Jake Williams' fight here at Fury. He's just a tough individual. Tall task ahead of both gentlemen here.
Yeah, when I heard the matchup, I didn't think this was the easiest debut for Ford, but I know it's pretty slim pickings with heavyweights.
Big 1-2 there to start off the fight for Jake. See if James can rely on that wrestling pedigree of his to lead him to victory. Williams doing a good job in backing Ford up.
Pretty good reach advantage for Williams, which should help him keep it on the feet.
Yeah, 6'4" versus 6 foot.
But he walked into that one. Oh, way to recover.
I'm glad this cage stayed up. That's a lot of weight.
Ford working hard for the takedown. I have to agree with you, Alex, seeing that cage just shake.
Oh, wow, really good body lock transition off to a bit of a knee pick.
This is where that wrestling pedigree comes into play for the former Big Ten wrestler from Purdue.
Oh, he's landing big shots.
Can James Ford have a successful German suplex there on Williams?
We got a heavyweight suplex, everybody.
Wow!
And the crowd is going crazy.
He just lifted 256 pounds over his head.
And there's a strategy in wrestling called riding your opponent, which we make him carry weight to fatigue them. And Ford's in the perfect position for it.
Yeah, he's got the foot figure forward. Well, he did.
Can Ford score another big suplex? That got the crowd.
He's really weighing in on Jake Williams now, and he's landing those good left hands. Ford needs to go back to the body lock, though, to make sure to keep that positioning.
Jacob Williams has been here before. He's in 5 fights in this cage. He's got to use that experience to keep his composure, not let the younger fighter get too excited.
You know, I think there is some sort of a shell shock when you're the size of Jacob Williams. You've probably never been suplexed like that before.
Hardly picked up even. I mean,
yeah,
that was entertaining to watch. You don't see suplexes often. You almost never see them with the heavyweights.
Can Williams shake that off and keep his composure? Score something at the end of this first round. Thus far, James Ford enjoying his position right now with that clinch. Big knee there by Williams.
Good return uppercuts there from Ford, though.
Man, these boys are moving the cage.
Ford's doing a good job keeping the underhook and keeping some pressure on Williams.
Just under 10 seconds left in this opening round. Williams looking to big uppercut.
Saved by the bell there. Saved by the bell. Ford's still with it.
Man, that's where the experience comes into play for Jake Williams. He's not a 5-fight vet for nothing.
Now that's
he needs that break. I think he had a hard time getting up.
Yeah, and he used a lot of energy. I mean, see, and then how do you call that round? That was Ford's round up until that uppercut.
Yeah, and I mean, it may not matter. I have a hard time seeing this going the distance. I wonder, you know, a guy who's been in there and done this 5 times has an advantage right here over a guy who may just have dumped everything he had into that round and then got dropped at the end of it. This is going to. I'm really intrigued to see how Ford comes
Here we see
out
that
after,
big German suplex on the heavyweights. And you know what? We've called Jake Williams' fights before. We've seen him himself blow his energy. There's that big uppercut to finish the round.
Yeah, but Jake's had some dog fights and has stayed with it. You know, that experience is so valuable right now, and that's something that Ford just can't relate to.
Round 2 is going to be an interesting round. There we see Ford already looking to measure the distance. Did he have enough time to shake the cobwebs?
And probably some real confidence right now for Williams, knowing he can put this guy on the ground. And you have to wonder where Ford's confidence is on the other side.
You're right, AJ. Look at the expression on Williams' face. He's hunting.
Oh, nasty inside leg kick.
Big right hand there.
Big overhand right from Ford. But he's got to be careful. He's exposing himself to a good counter here.
That's what he needs, is that head movement on the inside.
How much striking has James Ford done to prepare in his mixed martial arts debut? We know he's got the grappling pedigree. Sometimes that transition from grappling to striking can be a out-of-this-world experience.
You know, he was in deep on that double and did a good job changing his grip from the knees to the ankles.
Good call on Ford to bring it back to his world, but Williams doing a good job and working his way back up to his feet. Single leg there by Ford.
I mean, Ford is no stranger to wrestling. Some good transitions, good chain wrestling. He'll use one entry to hit a different finish.
Drop down there by Ford to get to the top position.
I think this is risky for Williams to turn his back like that to get up.
Ford
needs
doing a
to get
good job.
smart
Look how
and
he's
get his hooks
riding the
in.
back. Looking to secure the hooks and get the stretcher.
So, you know, he opted to go back to the turtle position. That's something you'd see UFC double champ Daniel Cormier do all the time, is ride guys out from turtle to fatigue them, you know, win some time on top and take some pop out of the punches of the guys on bottom.
But often that's, if as a heavyweight, that's your go-to get up, because you can stand up with a guy on your back when you're the size of a guy like Jake Williams.
You're the size of a building. Just under a minute left in the second round. Interesting story unfolded between these two heavyweights. The young prospect going against the grizzled veteran.
Yeah, Williams needs to get busy separating the hands of Ford now so he doesn't get mat return.
Another drop down there by Ford. Williams looks to be eyeing that leg to see if he can, but opts to go back to that turtle position.
You know, one thing with the wrestling, you know, pedigree of Ford, you know, he's had tough matches that have gone the distance. You know, he's used to wrestling fatigued. It's a bit different with punches coming, but I mean, he's putting Williams in his world right now in terms of riding him on top.
Yeah, after a round one that could have gone either way, I don't think there's much question that James Ford takes round 2 in this one.
Yeah, and Williams, he wore a lot of weight in that round.
Yeah, and there's no guarantee that Williams even got that first round.
No, there's not.
So if you're Jake Williams' coach, what do you tell him in this third round?
You have to tell Jake Williams you're looking for a finish, because you're at worst even.
At worst, right.
Or no, you're at best even. At worst, you're down 0-2.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, well said, AJ. And anytime I'm fighting or coaching, I'm always assuming I've lost an even round, just so you don't take anything, you know, too safe.
Never see some of the highlights from the second round, but the grappling prowess of Ford. Multiple drop downs, single leg takedown. Williams is looking early to try to hunt for that knockout, but Ford able to impose his grappling in on the heavyweight. So
I think that in that round, Williams, because he got the knockdown at the end of round 1, he got too comfortable fighting in the range that where Ford, because the entire first round he fought at a range that was very safe from a takedown, and he got too comfortable, I think, in that round 2.
And I'll tell you, Ford looks good too. He doesn't look too gassed. His hands are up. His face looks okay.
Well, he looks better now than he did at the end of round 1.
Third and final round, and already Ford is entering in to see if he can impose his grappling.
And that's what I mean. He used a single leg entry to get to a body lock, ducks under, drags him down. It's really good chain wrestling, which is what high-level wrestlers are really good at.
He's doing a good job in taking Williams' strength away from him. He can't knock him out if he's got him glued to his body, so.
And then notice what Ford is doing. He's just hanging. He's hanging on Jake like a 263-pound anchor. That'll fatigue anybody.
He's got to get an underhook here. What he's doing now is not going to help him.
Yeah, Williams tripped there by Ford.
Riding him out.
Bad news.
Big punches from Ford. Now I got a little excited.
Now he's got a chance to do something.
And he pulled off the butterfly sweep.
Ooh, butterfly sweep there by Ford.
A heavyweight wrestling tactic I don't think we would have seen. That was a classic Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu style open guard sweep.
Excellent job there, yeah.
Doesn't really go hand in hand with heavyweight wrestlers. That was really cool
I think that's the first time,
skills there from Ford.
First time I ever saw a heavyweight pull that off.
Yeah, not common in MMA whatsoever either.
Side control now enjoyed by Ford. Let's see what he can do with it.
He's trying to trap that arm.
He's looking for a crucifix.
Oh, this is a really bad spot.
Now, Ford's still got some pop in his shots. He needs to be patient, though, and not give up position like he did last time.
Curious if Ford's going to turn up the tempo and see if he can make a ground and pound stoppage for his MMA debut.
You see referee Joe Solis warning Williams to move. He's caught in a wrist ride. Ford's putting it on him. I'd say 10 more strikes and they stop this fight.
James Ford in his mixed martial arts debut.
Trapping the leg. I'm telling you, Ford would just commit to giving maybe 10 strikes, not even at full power. He could probably catch a referee stoppage.
Minute left.
It may be the prudent thing at this point to just ride it out. I mean, he's in a really good position here. He knows he's up on the scorecards.
Yeah, less than a minute left.
There's really not much point in taking risks right now.
You know,
I mean, especially as an amateur.
And Williams has, championship rounds as an amateur under his belt. This was as hard a debut as you can get. Williams 4-1, good record. Ford coming in as a debuter.
30 seconds left. Yeah, I mean,
I'd have put him as an underdog in this fight, and he did fantastic.
James Ford now cruising his way to victory here over the double tough Jake Williams. I think this is our first fight that's going to go the distance tonight in our prelim cards.
Ryman and King have gone the distance. Yeah. Very wrestling heavy bout itself.
And that will do it for our heavyweights as James Ford looks to be taking the decision over Jake Williams. Very difficult task for him in his mixed martial arts debut, to take on a guy with 5 fights under his belt.
Yeah, great performance, great experience. And it doesn't take much for heavyweights to make it to the big show once they go pro. They only really need 4 or 5 wins.
There we see the highlights from round 3 as Ford was able to get that mount position. This is a small glimmer of hope was for Williams in that one spot right there. And there we see that open guard butterfly sweep there, pulled off by James Ford. Really looking forward to seeing how the career of James Ford progresses. We've already seen some really solid, not only wrestling, but some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from Ford. So,
yeah, that was a fun fight to watch. You don't see heavyweights grapple like that often at all.
Don't forget, 4:30, our main card begins on UFC Fight Pass. You got just under 45 minutes to subscribe if you haven't already.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The scores of 30-27, 29-28, and 30-27. Your winner by unanimous decision, James Ford!
Yeah, and don't let us forget, James actually got dropped at the end of that first round, shook it off, and came out looking even better in the second. Good for him.
And that moves us along to our next fight of the evening as we have featherweights. 2 featherweights making their debut here tonight. We got Kyle Toddering taking on Chris San-Nichols.
Yeah, Kyle Toddering actually a teammate here of James Ford.
Don't forget to follow us, Fury Fighting Championship, on Instagram and Facebook. doing a giveaway for our May 16th show. Follow Eric G at 831 or Show Enough Stuff.
Please welcome to the blue corner, Kyle Todrang.
And here we have Kyle Todrang, 5'11", 145 pounds, 4-year varsity letter winner in Division I wrestling, 2 years at Purdue, 2 years at Buffalo, one-time Big Ten Network Match of the Week, started Taekwondo at 7 years old, and is currently a Jiu-Jitsu blue belt. So another strong grappler with a big wrestling pedigree under his belt that we're about to watch here.
Yeah, at Kyle's gym, they have a UFC fighter in Trevin Giles, a guy I crossed with a lot. And I had done some rounds with Kyle here, and we had had a fun sparring session. I was like, hey, man, how many fights have you had? He's like, oh, none. I'm making my debut soon. And I was like, wow, this guy's got a good skill set underneath him. I've been looking forward to watching him fight for a long time now.
Yeah, this should be an interesting debut. Kyle Todrang, ready for action.
Yeah, he's pumped up, too. It's going to be a great fight.
Please welcome to the red corner, Chris San Nicolas.
Chris San Nicolas making his way to the cage. There we see head coach Drew Radicek in his corner. So that's going to be interesting. As we said earlier, the ACS fighters are typically known for their grappling. So we got Chris San Nicolas taking on a guy with a huge wrestling pedigree under his belt. See how this pans out. There we see both fighters making their debut. 24-year-old Kyle Todrang taking on the 28-year-old Chris San Nicolas. Both 5'9", both under the 145-pound weight limit. Actually, Nichols is 45.4, but pretty even on the weight. So on paper, a pretty even matchup.
Yeah, both fighters have teams that have multiple fighters on this card. It's always more fun when you have several teammates to train alongside. Morale is high. Cardio is generally a strong factor.
Interesting fight shorts. Never seen that type before. Kind of like an Islander.
Yeah, better chop.
Chris San Nicolas ready for action.
The following contest is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury Amateur Series featherweight division. It is your final preliminary match of the afternoon. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This freestyle fighter stands 5 feet, 9 inches tall and weighed in at 144.8 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, by way of Evansville, Indiana. Today he makes his amateur debut. This is cutthroat Kyle Todrang. And introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This freestyle fighter stands 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighed in at 145.4 pounds. Fighting out of Guam, today he too makes his amateur debut. This is Chris San Nicolas. Your referee in charge, JJ Ferraro.
That look of intensity on the eyes of a guy with the nickname Cutthroat for Kyle Todrang was pretty frightening.
I like it. Perfect name. Not heard that one before.
Southpaw versus conventional matchup. Todrang in the conventional stance.
With everything that's illegal in amateur MMA, I'm surprised they haven't made that front kick to the knee illegal, because they've talked about making it illegal in pro MMA, so it seems like that'd be a no-brainer for amateurs.
Yeah, you'd think so. That's one of the few rules I actually wish they would change, is to eliminate that kick.
See Todrang open up with some high kicks there.
Is it something you ever use?
No, I've tried it once and didn't have any success. Just stick to more traditional strikes, especially in the boxing category.
I think the moment they see somebody get their knee hyperextended is the moment they'll look at it. Until then, it hasn't quite been red flagged by the commission.
Todd did a great
Nice
job
takedown.
catching that front kick and just instantly pressured, transition off to a hard double.
He's very fast.
San Nichols here with a death grip around the neck and head of Todd Rank.
Yeah, that
It's typically not what you want to do if you're on the floor.
Oh boy, these are big shots.
Man, Todd Rank.
That's good. The ref's doing a good job making sure Kyle's keeping everything.
Fishing for that rear naked choke.
I don't think
San
he's
Nichols,
under, yeah.
San Nichols was able to defend.
Yeah, St. Nicholas in a bad spot though early on. They're dry. Todd Rank's furious right
He
now.
can flatten
Being
him out here.
persistent. Todd Rank persistent with that rear naked choke. Ever see San Nichols with those elbows to the thigh? Those can be really annoying.
I agree, but it seems like maybe your energy would be better used at getting up. Like, that's not going
Sure.
to get Todd Rank off of him.
And again, go back to the last fight. This is an easy position to ride from, especially with Kyle's legs kind of, weaved in between San Nicholas, and this is a tough position. He needs to start posting and getting up. I mean, he's got to take some calculated risks to get out of this position. He's caught in a wrist ride. He's got his legs trapped.
It's probably all he was able to do with that grip that Todd Rank has. He's doing an excellent job in figure fouring his legs.
I'd say Kyle could perhaps look to finish a back tag, but I don't think he needs to. I mean, he's already in a dominant spot. He's landing decent strikes and is certainly winning this round due to positioning and strikes.
So Todd Rank controlling that wrist with a one-on-one grip. Just under 10 seconds left in this opening round. Got to be careful to watch that back of the head. Round one in the books between these two featherweights. Big opening statement by Cutthroat.
Cutthroat Kyle, excellent fight there. Kyle's got a long time Houston coach, and Jeremy Mahone owns and operates the War Training Facility.
There's how we saw Todd Rank score with the takedown early with a kick attempt by San Nichols that got turned into a driving single leg.
Yeah, once he caught that kick, he just sprinted basically.
Yeah, and he made it a high single and took him down with some power. That was right there in front of us, and we heard that impact.
Let me see Todd Rank punching at the lat muscle. I don't know if you've ever taken a shot to the back or in the lat muscle right there, but man, that is like makes your back on fire.
That's why I keep a healthy layer of back fat to protect me from things like that.
That's good thinking, AJ.
But it's weird. It makes it like difficult to raise your arms without feeling it in your back. Good piece of advice there, sir.
Protective like a grizzly.
Do you recommend one for the front too?
Oh, I keep it everywhere.
Gotcha, brother.
Oh, wow. Big right hand there from Cutthroat Kyle.
You're loving Cutthroat.
I love that name.
Yeah.
They're both guys fighting from a safe range.
Yeah, we're just going to call him Cutthroat the rest of the fight.
With the wrestling pedigree that Cutthroat has, he's very content to stand here and strike at range, throwing a lot of spinning attacks.
Double-leg attempt, trying to drive it across. San Nichols stays on his feet.
Cutthroat with a strong elevation there.
It's again, when these guys get in on double legs and the guys decide rather than going for an underhook, they're going to try to wrap their head around their neck or something. It's just, it's bad technique.
Yeah.
Right now, Cutthroat pinning the head of San Nichols against the cage.
And it is instinctual to do that. You feel like, oh, I can grab his neck and maybe I've got something here, but you're going to get taken down and you're not going to hold on to that head at that point.
Yeah, pummeling for underhooks is a must once you clinch up in MMA. And you can see Cutthroat's doing a good job putting a lot of pressure with his head on his opponent's head to keep him pinned against the cage. It really makes, angling the hips off for submissions and getting hitting get-ups really difficult.
And San Nichols trying to post on the hips and trying to create some kind of an angle for himself. So right now, he's just not in a good spot for movement at all.
And, you know, a lot of times, you know, in gyms, the cage chain link is very worn and gives a lot. And I'll tell you, here at these high-level promotions, there's no give to that cage whatsoever. Very uncomfortable to be pressed up against, especially with the head.
Yeah, and you can see the look of discomfort on San Nichols' face. I mean, Cutthroat is just bullying his head.
Cutthroat's landing good shots here from the guard.
Trying to work some classic Tito Ortiz ground and pound there.
Yeah, he had a collar ties. You know, Cutthroat had his left hand on the back of his opponent's head and was pulling him into the right hands. And he's staying very active.
Referee J.J. Ferraro taking a look at the action. Curious if he's going to, if there's enough work to be done, that is, he's not going to opt for a stand-up just yet. Got just under 30 seconds in this second round.
I think it would benefit Cutthroat to actually stand up when the guard opens and really press his hips in and get a little more distance in between his right hand and his opponent's face to do some more damage with those ground and pound strikes.
I mean, he's got a pretty clear lead here going into round 3. And with his wrestling background, this is another situation where I think he's just going to be able to play it safe and do this for 3 more minutes and win the fight convincingly.
Yeah. Round 2 in the books. Pretty easy round to score there for round 2.
Yeah, unlike the last fight, there really hasn't been a moment for the other guy. You know, in that last fight when there was a moment where, you know, where Ford got dropped and we were like, oh, well, maybe that round could go that way. I mean, this has been one-way traffic so far.
Yeah, definitely. There we see the highlights of round 2. As you're saying, just Cutthroat able to impose his wrestling and just control the majority of the round. You have to wonder, as a coach, what do you say to your fighter whenever he's just unable to stop the takedown like that?
I mean, especially when you're down 2-0, there should be a lot of uppercuts and you know, really, even if you have to sprawl and look ridiculous, like, you just do something other than get taken down.
Yeah.
Chris San Nichols needs something big to happen in this 3rd round to make a dramatic comeback. See if he can pull off.
And you can throw knees. You can't throw reinforced knees, but maybe on one of these entries, you throw a knee up and see what happens.
See if San Nichols can control the distance and time one.
You can't throw kicks, though.
No, that's the 3 out of 3 takedowns have come from kicks. You know, AJ, you're right. You know, I think Cutthroat knew he could easily score a takedown and ride some more top position.
This is mixed martial arts debut. Feeling comfortable. Half guard position for Cutthroat.
Yeah, there's going to be there's a lot of lessons that are going to be taken for Chris San Nichols here. Especially going up against a wrestler, these kicks, especially body kicks, it's going to end this way more often than not.
Yeah, you know, I break down statistics a lot in MMA, and if you look at what strikes finish the fights, it's a majority of punches. I mean, boxing is king in MMA in terms of finishing.
San Nichols doing a good job there using the underhook to try to work his way back to his feet. Cutthroat recognizes it and shuts it down. Time is not on the side of San Nichols.
And if you are going to throw kicks, it's got to be these kicks like at the calf.
Yeah.
Rear naked choke attempt by Cutthroat.
Oh, it's deep.
Can he finish it?
Cutthroat's committing to this.
And hooks, he gets a body triangle, that's it.
Transition to palm-to-palm grip.
Cutthroat gets the finish.
Kyle Cutthroat Todrank wins his mixed martial arts debut, and he is fired up.
That is a dominant performance right there.
Totally Kyle Todrank's style right there. I mean, earn that name, Cutthroat.
Wow. Sure, we're going to see a lot more of Cutthroat. 24 years of age, featherweight. Strong wrestling pedigree behind him, just earned his first mixed martial arts victory.
And as always, the amateurs really delivering.
And there we see highlights of the match. As you were saying, 3 for 3 on takedowns when it came to countering the kicks. Chris San Nichols just had a tough matchup in his first outing at mixed martial arts. So I'm sure we'll be seeing another shot for San Nichols in the future. There we see the finish. Rear naked choke transitioned into a palm-to-palm grip. He just stretched him out. Very uncomfortable choke.
Ladies and gentlemen, it comes 1 minute, 29 seconds into round number 3, declaring your winner by way of submission due to a rear naked choke, Cutthroat Kyle Toldrand.
You know, coming into a fight with a nickname like Cutthroat with no fights says a lot, man. He proved every bit of it right there. That was a fun fight to watch.
All right, we are going to transition into our next fight as we have John Clay take on Ricardo Evangelista in another heavyweight fight.
And now we're transitioning to our professional, you know, fight card tonight. Ricardo Evangelista is a third-degree Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. And for those who don't know, it's over 10 years of black belt to get that third degree.
Please welcome to the blue corner, John Clay.
And here we have John Clay, 5'11", 40 years of age, making his Fury Fighting Championship debut. Started off his career with 2 wins as an amateur. Unfortunately, has since gone 0-8. His last fight was in September of 2020. He's never been the distance in his career, even with his wins.
Yeah, his opponent's a big heavyweight too. This is going to be a tough fight for him.
And an extremely skilled heavyweight for a guy making his debut. You're not going to find many debuting guys with a magic trick skill like you're going to see here.
John Clay ready for action.
Please welcome to the red corner, Ricardo Evangelista.
And here we have the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu legend, Ricardo Evangelista. 35 years of age, making his mixed martial arts debut. And as you were talking earlier, Alex, I mean, this man has a lengthy professional grappling career.
Oh, yeah.
He's competed internationally, Abu Dhabi, London, IBJJF World, Moscow. I mean, the guy just has just so much international high-level experience that, I mean, this is a highly anticipated mixed martial arts debut, especially in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world.
Yeah, come November, that puts him at 14 years as a black belt. That's as long as I've been training, and I'm a second-degree black belt myself. And man, you know, this guy is a physical beast. He's a big heavyweight. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an early first-round finish in this fight, but it's MMA.
Here we see the tail of the tape.
I'll also say, you know, there's times where, and this is an opportunity for Evangelista. If he wanted to, I don't think any of us doubt that he could go in there and get a takedown and get a quick finish, but this is a rare opportunity for him to get some live round striking and see how his striking holds up against someone like this who, and if it goes poorly, he's always got a submission to fall back on. But you're not going to get a lot of opportunities coming up in MMA to really test your skills and sort of tinker with things on the job. And this is a good opportunity for him to do that.
I couldn't agree more.
Because if he goes in and takes him down and submits him, he gains nothing from this other than a paycheck.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury FC Heavyweight Division. Introducing your first competitor, fighting out of the blue corner. Standing 5 feet and 11 inches tall, he weighed in at 237.4 pounds. Fighting out of Ball, Louisiana. Today he seeks his first professional victory. Introducing John Clay. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt stands 6 feet 3 inches tall and weighed in officially at 255.8 pounds. Fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Today he makes his professional debut. This is Ricardo Evangelista. Your referee in charge, JJ Ferraro.
And for a heavyweight, Ricardo Evangelista looks solid.
Yes, he does.
John Clay, Ricardo Evangelista, and this fight is officially underway. Wow, interesting. Already, we see Evangelista.
Yeah, boy.
Evangelista in 12 seconds is successful in his mixed martial arts debut. Johnny Clay just right off the bat, surprisingly, just went for a half shot and just got sprawled on and pounded out.
Well, I think he knew if he took him down, he was going to dominate the fight.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know why he would have shot in on such a decorated black belt.
I mean, we gotta call it is what it is. He's 40 years old, going on against a multi-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expert. So, I mean, this goes from 0-6 to 0-7. So, no sense on getting hurt any further than he has to. But Ricardo Evangelista with a successful debut. You can actually watch the whole fight here. Yeah, Evangelista went through the process, was able to get his first mixed martial arts fight under his belt.
And a tap to strikes.
So, speaking with Evangelista earlier, he does plan to pursue more MMA fights in his future. So he was able to get this experience underneath his belt.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee JJ Ferraro calls for a stop to the action. 15 seconds into the very first round, declaring your winner by TKO, Ricardo Evangelista.
Look forward to seeing many more fights for Ricardo Evangelista here at Fury Fighting Championship.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a brief intermission, and when we come back, we will be going live on UFC Fight Pass.
All right, that wraps up our prelims. We are about to make our way to the UFC Fight Pass at 4:30 for our main card, as we have Nico Echeverry defending his title against Lavelle Simpson.
Really good action tonight from these prelims.